something? I've always wanted to do that. I really, really did. Robert, just a fan. I didn't forget about you. All right, let's roll it.
Yeah! Are y'all ready? Are y'all ready? What? Yeah! Y'all ready to play some football? Just got some big things. Let's go! If you want it, you can get it. Let me know. I'm about to...
What is going on, people? LP2000 right back at you with another figure review. Oh my God, it's been a while since I feel like I've done this. You know, the last time I was here, I did this big guy back here. If you can see him, you know, the gigantic series X Plus 1962 Godzilla. So I'm back again with another figure review. It's more like a re-up because I did a review of this figure before, but just, as I said in the intro, Robert, just a fan, this is for you or anybody else who may want to get this. This is the Tokyo Marui radio-controlled Godzilla 1989 figure, and so he, since Robert asked me to do up close and personal review of this figure, because the last time I did this, you know, it was around like a year or so ago, and over time I've gotten a little bit better with the way I produce my videos, so this is why I'm doing a re-up today. So this is the awesome figure. You know how we do things around here. Let's get into the box before we get into the figure. Let's put Godzilla down here. And this is a massive box. As you can see, you probably can't see me now, but you know, it's okay. I'm gonna try and sneak around here. Well, you know what? Yeah, there you go. And this is the box. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna really go into a lot of detail or rehash a lot of the things that I said in my previous video. Please go check it out in the archives of the channel. But you know, I'm just gonna gloss over some of the things I said before, just in case you missed that video. This is the picture. This is the box, excuse me. Picture of Godzilla right there on the front, and the 6 actions that the RC model can do: forward, left turn, right turn, wave head, tail swing, bark, or roar. And Godzilla, the Biollante version, 1989. Yes, I really do love this figure. I really do love this box, and it does have some pictures on the side here, if you can see. It has a picture of, you know, from Godzilla's Biollante, Godzilla in the water, Godzilla fighting Biollante. And here it shows like an interior picture of the endoskeleton inside the rubber suit, which I will explain later on. So that is pretty much it with the box, and that's it.
Oh my God, don't do that! Don't do it!
All right, now, I enjoy doing that, by the way. All right, this is the figure, Godzilla 1989 from Godzilla's Biollante, the second film in the Heisei film series of Godzilla. And this is just an amazing piece, you know what I mean? And if you want to get one, they're on Buyee. I see them regularly every now and then for a good price, you know what I mean? Don't go overboard with the spending, but I highly recommend this figure. Before I go any further, let me just give you like a backstory about this figure. Of course, this is made by Tokyo Marui. They're known for making airsoft replica guns in Japan, and they did dabble in the RC market with radio-controlled cars, monster trucks, some Z model railroad train sets or whatever, and they did dabble in the Godzilla market around 1994. Yes, this thing is from 1994, 22 years, and it still holds up well. I got this in 2001, but they did dabble in the RC market, in the Godzilla market, and they made 3 radio-controlled figures, from what I understand. They made a Godzilla 1954 from Godzilla King of the Monsters, or Gojira. They made a Mothra, the larva form, I think is from Godzilla vs. Mothra, 1992, just a larva form. And they made this one for Godzilla vs. Biollante. All of them are radio controlled. All of them have, the thing about it is they have an endoskeleton, because when you get it, you know, whatever, it comes in 2 separate pieces. It comes with a plastic endoskeleton and a rubber suit that you have to place the rubber suit over the endoskeleton. Now, I have to say, when you do that, please be careful, because even though it's rubber and it's kind of durable, don't be too forceful with the rubber, because you may end up tearing it. That's what I kind of did with mine. That's what happened with mine. I kind of got overzealous with it or whatever, and it tore, but I had to glue it back together. But if you get this or any of these RC control toys from Tokyo Marui, please be careful with the as you handle the rubber suit. And basically all you can do, what you can do is, like, there's a seam of Velcro right here, and you just had to open the suit up and just place the endoskeleton around it. Kind of like how the suit actors used to go inside the suits in the films anyway. So I like that. I like that touch. But yes, they did a great job. And like I mentioned, I got this around 2001, and this was long before PayPal and all these transaction techniques that we use now to get figures or whatever. Back then, my access to the internet was very, very limited, and I got this from a toy shop called Just Be Toys. I don't know if they're still in business now. I think they were out of Seattle, or it was somewhere out west, either out of Seattle or Oregon, one or two. And that was back then where I'm not sure how other folks got their figures back then, around 2001. But back then, all I had to do was basically make a phone call, and then I just had to send a money order in the mail, and it got like 5-6 days for it to reach them, and then, you know, whatever that I had to pray, hopefully I wasn't going to get scammed by anybody. But that's how things were back in the day, at least for me, and how I got figures. And you're taking a gamble when you do stuff like that, you know what I mean? Because you may end up getting taken advantage of, you know what I mean? And it's not like how nowadays with PayPal and you know, all these services where you're more protected now when you do transactions online and stuff like that, or if you want to have something sent to you. It's more security sufficient, what I'm trying to say. But back then it really wasn't. So I was taking the gamble, and I didn't know. I was young, and I was new to getting these Godzilla high quality pieces. And then when it finally arrived on my doorstep, I had no idea it was going to be this detailed and this awesome. And normally I try to stay away from radio controlled toys, especially Godzilla toys, because to me some of them are not really worth the money, or at least they're not this detailed that's warranted for the money that they're asking for, you know, whatever. So I try to stay away from, or at least I try to stay away from RC control toys. But this one I love, I thoroughly enjoy. I don't really see myself getting any more radio controlled Godzilla figures, since I'm more in the X Plus and model kits or whatever. But I think this is a great piece. You know what I mean? It really is a great piece, and this is like my very first big Godzilla figure, because you know that's what I'm into. I'm into the bigger size figures, and this thing stands 20 inches tall, 38 inches long with its long tail, and it requires it requires 7 batteries. Yeah, it requires 4 D-cell batteries, 2 9-volt batteries to go inside the endoskeleton, and 1 9-volt battery to go inside this massive transmitter that you use to control the thing. And mind you, I've only changed the batteries once in the 15 years I had this thing, and hopefully it still works. I think it does, because I don't really play with it that much, you know, whatever. I'll probably do it like once every month, just to get a kick out of it. Because like I mentioned, it walks, it turns its head, it wags its tail, and it roars, and it gives off an authentic Godzilla roar from Godzilla's Biollante. And out of the 3, I told you that they did Godzilla 54 and the Mothra. I have to say I probably enjoy this the most, and it's not because I have it, but you know what I mean. But the Godzilla 54, even though it had a great rubber detail on the suit, whatever, it didn't do the authentic Godzilla 54 roar, the dark, gritty, serious roar. He had the roar from Terra Godzilla, that high-pitched, sure roar. As far as Mothra, I think she did roar, and she might be the second best, because not only did she roar, she also had like it came with a container of like silly string, where you can install inside the endoskeleton, and it could shoot out like silly string to recreate Mothra shooting out her web, which is a cool effect. But since I love the Bio Goji, or Godzilla 1989, to those who are uninitiated, I love this, and that's why I had to go pick it up. And it was really my biggest first purchase ever, and most expensive at the time, you know what I mean, because this thing cost a lot of money, and it still holds up to this day. For 22 years old, and for 15 years since I had it, it has held up so well. So You know how we do things around here. Let's get up close and personal. Like I mentioned, I won't rehash a lot of the details and stuff because you can go back and watch in the in my first video of this figure. But let's get up close and personal with this detailed Godzilla figure. All right, let's go. Okay, folks, I'm back, and here it is, up close and personal with the Tokyo Marui radio controlled Godzilla 1989. As you can see, the detail on this thing is so amazing, you know what I mean? And it's a rubber suit. It's a rubber suit. It's very, very detailed. For an airsoft gun manufacturer, I think Tokyo Marui did a great job with this Godzilla figure. It's a shame that they weren't able to like do other monsters. Like I think I heard somebody say a long time ago online that they would love to see them tackle a King Ghidorah. That would have been awesome. But the detail on this thing is so amazing, and I really love the rubber ness of the, not rubberness. Is that even a word? No, not a word. But I like the rubber texture of this suit. They did a great job with the suit or whatever. And I know I talk a lot about X Plus and how they superb and what they do with their sculpts, stuff like that. But this Tokyo Marui is very, 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 very awesome. Now, of course, this has been in my collection for 15 years. And as you can see, it still holds up. Of course, there's dust on it because I don't really move it that much. But as you can see, it has held up a lot over the years. The detail on the toes is very, very nice. Charcoal black skin on Godzilla. You already know how it goes. And let's go with the dorsal plates right fast first. They did a great job recreating the dorsal plates. And you wouldn't think on the surface that if you would have come into this room and see all this Godzilla stuff and you see this, you would think this is actually like a prop that was used in Godzilla's Biollante, but it's a radio controlled toy. And like I mentioned, they did a great job with the dorsal plates, the color scheme, the way they arranged the dorsal plates on his back, the way they colored them. They have done a great job. The tail is really, really long or whatever. Like I mentioned, it's like 38 inches long, at least 38 inches long figure-wise. And this tail is a huge, huge factor in that. And it's very, very good. You know what I mean? It's very, very nice. And for us, the Godzilla 1989, I love this suit because, to me, it's a very, very powerful looking suit. Of course, you know that my favorite is 91. But to me, if Godzilla was a real creature, that was a part of everyday life. You know what I mean? This would be the version that I would want him to be in existence. Like if Godzilla was to walk out of the ocean today, at this point, I would want this version for him to walk out. You know what I'm saying? Very, very powerful, very, very imposing, very, very, very menacing. You know what I mean? I mean, of course, I love the 84, and of course, they took a lot of changes when it came from the 84 to the 89 here. You know what I mean? And I just love the fact that this Godzilla, the way his body is, the way the suit is, it's just very, very nice. With his long neck right here, it doesn't have a lot of dorsal plates on the top of his neck. As time went on in the Heisei series, and which I will showcase in a size comparison in a few seconds, they increased they increased the amount of dorsal plates on the back. But right here, he just has a very, very imposing look. You know what I mean? It's just a very, very imposing look, very, very menacing, very, very powerful. I like how his chest is all buffed up. I like how his claws are sharp. And I just like the whole, just the overall look of this suit. And it's very, very awesome. You know what I mean? Let's go with the face, more so with the face. The face looks awesome. You know what I mean? They did a great job with the paint scheme on the teeth, as well as the tongue and his gums and his eyes. I think his eyes are like contact lenses. You know what? Because it's been a while since I put this together. It's been 15 years. I think the contact lenses came already inside of the rubber suit. I don't think you had to attach them, so it came like this, I believe. But the color scheme on the eyes is very, very good. You know what I mean? It's very, very nice. The head sculpt is nice or whatever. And like I mentioned before, when you handle this suit, or when you try to attach the rubber suit over the endoskeleton, just be careful. Like I mentioned, see this tear right here? Yeah, that's what happened. So I did the best I could to try to recreate it, or at least try to make it whole again. And it doesn't really bother me that much because when I position my Godzilla, when I position my Godzilla, I have him looking this way so the tear is not visible. But I really do enjoy this. I really do enjoy it, and it's really a nostalgia piece for me because it really got me. This is basically what got me into Godzilla collecting. You know what I mean? Before X Plus was even a thing, you know, whatever. Before I found out about Bandai's and Popies and Bull Marks and stuff like that, this was my introduction to Godzilla collecting. And I kind of stopped for a while. You know what I mean? I kind of stopped for a while for a period of time because I was trying to find a job. I was trying to, I guess, find myself, you know, whatever, into adulthood. And then I found X Plus and model kits, and the rest is history. But this was it for me. This was the beginning. You know what I mean? And for it to hold up well to this day, you know what I mean? It's a reminder of why I love doing what I do and why I enjoy this hobby and why it's the best hobby in the world. And don't let anybody tell you differently. All right, now let's go into what it can do. Let's go with what it can do. Now, as you can see, this is a control. Okay, and you can go forward, you can turn to the left, right, wave his head, tail swing, and you can bark or roar. So what you do is you just turn it on like so with this button, and with the green light signifying it is on. And it's like a little switch underneath Godzilla's base, underneath his tail right here. You just flip it on, and hopefully it'll still work. Hopefully it'll still work. Hopefully I won't get embarrassed here. All right, let's see how it will look. Hold on. Let's put him back a little bit so he can have some room to walk. So let's see how he does. So, okay, Godzilla, walk. Oh man, that's nice. And as you can see, the radio control Godzilla walks as if how Ken Pachira Satsuma walked inside a Godzilla suit, you know what I mean, with his arms moving like that, his body, his torso looking like that, moving like that. Very, 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 very nice. Now let's see how he will look. Let's turn on the let's make him turn to the left. Okay. Let's see him turn to the right. Okay, let's turn back left and make him center again. All it does is basically he turns left and just stands on one side, and if you turn right, he stands on the other side. No big deal. Let's see him wave his head. Very nice, very nice, very nice, very nice. That's one thing about this radio controlled Godzilla. Even though it looks very, very good with his movements and it's very fluid, it's a very, very loud model. So just be mindful of that. Let's do his tail swing. See if his tail will swing. Very good. Very good. Okay. Now, let's go with the best feature, I think, in my opinion, of this figure, the fact that it can roar. So let's go with the roar. Oh my God, that is great. That's great. Let's see if it can do both. I don't know if I can do both at the same time, but as far as waving his head, because I'm holding the camera too. But as far as like him roaring, like I mentioned, his mouth opens and closes when he went to activate the sound effect. But if you stop him moving his jaw and having his jaw open wide open and just leave it there, it'll let out a continuous roar. So let's try that. All right, so that's it with the features, what it can do. This thing is off the chain, you know what I mean? It's very, very nice, and I'm going to shut it off now because I'm trying to conserve its battery life because I may want to activate it again at some point. So, yeah, that's pretty much it on what it can do. And it's just an amazing piece. It's such an amazing piece, and it's very, very massive. And in terms of how massive it is, let me show you how massive it is in comparison with another gigantic figure I do have. And it's apropos that I'm doing this now because the gigantic series Burning Godzilla from X Plus. And as you can see, they scale well together, even though they're not meant to. But as you can see the evolution in the two suits as far as the Heisei series. They both look awesome, whatever. But as you can see, with the Burning Godzilla in comparison to the 89, Godzilla, his shoulders got more up towards his neck. You know what I mean? Where his neck doesn't seem really that long in comparison with the 89, and as well as, like I mentioned before, the dorsal plates. The dorsal plates on both figures. They're really well detailed. But as you can see on the Burning Godzilla, they really increased the number on the dorsal plates on his back. But as you can see, this is the evolution of the Heisei Godzilla. And I mentioned this on Facebook earlier this week that maybe X Plus can start, incorporating rubber materials in their figures, especially the Gigantic series. And if they do decide to go ahead with the Gigantic series Godzilla 1989, which Mr. G. Akamoto did allude about doing, and it's you pretty much can say it's only a matter of time before it happens, because in the interview that Mr. Johnson Alski, College Addicts, did with him a while back, he did say that he wanted to make a 62, a 54, and 89 as far as the Gigantic series is concerned, and two of those designs have already come true. Well, at least one has come true and one is on its way to us. So it's only a matter of time that we may see 89. You know what I mean? So maybe if we do, this what you will come up with. You know what I mean? Of course, the Tokyo Marui towers over the Burning Godzilla just a little bit, but hey, it's all good with me. So that's pretty much with the size comparisons. Whatever. I'm not going to drown the review with size comparisons, but as you can see, with the rubber, that's what I mentioned about the Tokyo Marui. It is so awesome. It is so good that it could really pass for an X Plus figure. You know what I mean? And so that's good. That really is good. All right, so let me just wrap this review up, and we'll go from there. Thank y'all for hanging there with me. All right, sit tight. Okay, folks, I'm back with my thoughts of Godzilla vs. Biollante in conjunction with this Tokyo Marui Godzilla 1989 figure review. Once again, I love Godzilla vs. Biollante. Of course, my favorite film of the Heisei Godzilla film series is Godzilla vs. King Ghidorah. But I can be objective about this when it comes to maybe fans who have not seen the Godzilla films, want to know more about it. Selfishly, I would say the best is Godzilla vs. King Ghidorah. But objectively, for somebody who doesn't know anything about Godzilla, I would have to say, for my opinion, the best Godzilla film in the Heisei film series is Godzilla vs. Biollante. Coming off the heels of Godzilla 1985, I really enjoy how they took a realistic approach to Godzilla. You know what I mean? And I know a lot of fans don't really like Godzilla vs. Biollante because Biollante wasn't utilized to the best of her ability, or that the fights were lame or whatever. And my argument with that is, Godzilla vs. Biollante is such a well-crafted film, and to me it's more of a continuation of Godzilla 1985. It's just that they added a monster into the mix. One thing I love about the Godzilla Biollante is that everything revolves back to Godzilla. Even with the inclusion of Biollante into the story, it all goes back to him, which is basically feeding off what happened of the events of Godzilla 1985, on how Godzilla is the bad guy and how Godzilla will eventually somehow return. Just little realistic things they've done in that film really just makes it the best, in my opinion. Like the alarm system, whatever, those four alarm protocols in case Godzilla returns. I like that touch. The inclusion or introduction of Miki Sagusa, my favorite character of the Godzilla film series. The Super X too, my favorite version of Super X. The score is very, very good. The special effects are really good. It's just surprising to me that this film had a poor box office take. You know what I mean? But I've done some research about that, and a couple things kind of played in that. Number one, the reason why this film got pushed back to 1989, because Godzilla 1985 happened in 1984 or whatever. But the reason why this came out in 1989 was because King Kong Lives came out in 1986, and they were going to have Godzilla vs. Biollante come out in 1986. But as you know, or at least you have an idea, King Kong Lives didn't really do that well as far as the box office. I wonder why. So for that, and Toe believed that maybe there just wasn't a lot of interest in giant monster films, and when they finally did come up with Biollante, they still have a poor box office intake. They felt maybe Biollante was just, since it was a new monster they've never seen before, maybe because it wasn't familiar with longtime fans, maybe that's why the film did poorly, which is why they brought back King Ghidorah for the next film. Um, but it's just surprising that, those factors just made this film not be a hit at the box office. But you know what? It's a hit with me. It's a hit with a lot of other people. And one thing about this film that I love so much, to me, it kind of reminds me of my favorite film, Mothra vs. Godzilla. It's the fact that, it all goes back to Godzilla. It all goes back to him coming back, rampaging his way across Japan, the military coming to stop him, the inclusion of another monster that tries to stop him or at least fight with him. And one thing about Mothra vs. Godzilla, I will sing the praises of that film until the cows come home. I love that film. I would say it's the best. It's the perfect Godzilla film. But also, if you were to ask me, does it feature the best fight scene in the Godzilla film? I would say no. And the same thing goes for Biollante. You know what I mean? It's not really about the fight, despite the title of Godzilla's Biollante. To me, it's more about Japan have to deal with the fact that Godzilla is back, and just they weaved a great story which includes another monster. You know what I mean? That's one of the best Godzilla films out there. And to be perfectly honest, they had to include Biollante or at least another monster of some sort. Because as great as Godzilla 1985 was, I don't think that with the next film of Godzilla, you had to have him in the film by himself. It's kind of like a retread of the same thing. So you had to do something different. You had to go into a different direction. But I still enjoy the fact of everything they did as far as Godzilla's Biollante with Godzilla in the film. The fact it all goes back to him. And that's one of the main reasons why I love Godzilla vs. Biollante so much. You know what I mean? And that's why I love this Godzilla suit so much. I don't want to go a lot of details into the film because I'm planning a kaiju discussion in the future with Godzilla fan freaks Everett Grondin on Godzilla vs. Biollante. So I want to save at least the bulk of my feelings and my thoughts for that discussion. But as you can tell by what I've been saying for the past 5 or 10 minutes, I love Godzilla vs. Biollante. You know what I mean? To me, it's the best film of the Heisei period, with maybe Godzilla vs. Destroyer coming behind it from an artistic standpoint. And like I said, selfishly, Godzilla vs. King Ghidorah is one of my personal favorites. But overall, at the top of the list, Godzilla vs. Biollante. You can't go wrong with it. You know what I mean? It has a great story. It has a great villain in Godzilla. You have a great somewhat of an anti-hero in Biollante. Of course, the fights are not what they would be in a Godzilla film, but you got to realize something. Godzilla, or at least Biollante, was such a massive monster that Godzilla's not going to be doing what he did in Godzilla and Gigan versus Gigan. You know what I mean? He wasn't going to pick up Biollante and slam him to the ground or body slam her or whatever. It just, to me, it was a realistic take against two contrasting monsters. And despite the fact that Biollante was twice as big as Godzilla, Godzilla was still the villain, you know what I mean? And I really do enjoy that, you know what I mean? So, but like I mentioned before, stay tuned in the future for the Godzilla's Biollante casual discussion with Godzilla fan freaks Everett Grondin. But that pretty much concludes my review, or re-up I should say, of the Tokyo Marui Radio Control Godzilla 1989 from Godzilla's Biollante. If you have any questions, holler me down in the comment section or hit me up on Facebook, Bill Mark Calloway. We definitely go from there. Robert, just a fan. I'm sorry for getting this out late to you. A lot of things been going on. I went to G-Fest, and I'm going to be doing a G-Fest experience video soon. So I had a lot of things going on, but I told you I was going to get this video out to you, and here you are. So if you're in interest of getting this figure, check on Buyee or eBay or whatever. It's well worth the investment. I mean, I know it may have a stigma of being a radio-controlled toy, but even if it doesn't, even if you don't work the features, it's still an awesome figure to look at. On the surface, it's just an awesome and great Godzilla piece. You know what I mean? It could pass for an X Plus piece, to be honest with you. So don't let the stigma of a radio control toy stop you from getting this figure, especially if you can afford it. It's really worth the money, and it's really worth the purchase. So just go on Buyee or go online and try and find one for a good price. You'll not be disappointed. You know what I mean? And that's pretty much it. So I thank y'all for watching. I appreciate it, and I will see y'all again on this figure and movie review. All right? Y'all take it easy.